Hello guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to be talking about the Calgary Flames and their new arena that might be coming soon. Now, the Calgary Flames are in desperate need of a new arena, but that might change as a new project proposal might be coming. But what does this arena look like, where will it be situated, and how long will it take to actually be completed? Watch till the end to find out. Now, the Calgary Flames have been in arena troubles for what seems like forever now. They still currently play in the classic Saddledome, which is fine for pretty much 20 years ago, but when it comes to today's NHL, that stadium is just not conditioned for it. Now, I personally am a big fan of the Saddledome. I love the exterior on it, just the having it actually as a saddle design and actually having it as a dome to represent the name I think is amazing. I like some of the stuff inside and some of the uniqueness about it as well. But let's face the facts, that stadium is just not good enough for today's NHL, and the Calgary Flames also realize that. Now, the Saddledome was originally built in 1984. That was when it was originally built, but then it was renovated 10 years later in 1994, and it was pretty solid. It was a pretty great arena for the Calgary Flames. They ended up having that Stanley Cup year in it. It was pretty good and had some solid history to its name, and it was going fine up until 2013. At that point, it was still pretty banged up, but then there was the floods that came, the infamous floods that just creamed the entire Saddledome. And in that June, for Calgary, it was a pretty terrible one weather-wise, but the Saddledome was one of the most affected buildings there. It was just totaled. The complete lower bowl was pretty much just destroyed. The water got into everything. It got into the locker rooms. It got into everything you could possibly imagine when it comes to the lower bowl and everything. It just destroyed a lot of stuff, and pretty much the outside and, of course, the upper bowl and everything else other than that was still fine, but the flooding really did affect a ton about it, and the Saddledome still was pretty old at that point. It was still pretty run down, but then those floods came and just totaled it forever. When it came to after those floods, the Calgary Flames did their best to kind of renovate it a little bit, make it cleaner, make it nicer, make it better, and of course try and get all the flooding out before the season started that season, I think the 13-14 season after that. But it was just a complete mess at that point. It was stuff that couldn't be erased. It was the kind of damage that you just can't really fix. And the Calgary Flames did their best, the city of Calgary did their best to repair it, but when it came to the Saddledome, again, it was still pretty run down at that point. It was already pretty much almost 30 years as a building, and then that flooding came and just destroyed it a lot. And at that point, the Calgary Flames knew as a franchise that they had to look somewhere else. Now, since that 2013 flooding, a lot has changed in the situation. The Calgary Flames, though, are still playing in the Saddledome, still somehow to this day in the 2018-2019 season. The ownership and the city of Calgary has kind of settled a little bit more. They had some big relocation rumors back in 2017 when some of the ownership group in Calgary said that they might be relocating, which was never going to happen. It was just some threats on the city. But it seems like the city of Calgary has started to get their act together. There was quite a few proposals and quite a few arena deals that were planned but never really came about and were all just shot through the roof. So when it came to the arena deals and that whole situation, there really was no burning progress until the last maybe year and a half. Now, Gary Bettman, of course, the owner of the NHL, has been pretty adamant about keeping the Calgary Flames where they are, and it makes sense. The Calgary Flames are a pretty successful franchise, a lot of fans in that area, a lot of support, and they're having a great season so far. It makes sense for the Calgary Flames to stay in Calgary, and that was always something that I knew. Even when there was relocation rumors, it was just a matter of time of finding the money from the ownership group in both the Calgary Flames and the city of Calgary to finally get something going. It took a while, but now it's starting to kind of take shape. Now, there's this new plan that actually makes sense from the city of Calgary and the Calgary Flames, and this new arena deal is very, very interesting. Now, when it comes to the details, the city councilors of Calgary had a meeting on March 4th to decide on a $1.5 billion plan that would include 4 major projects in the city of Calgary, and I think in that Victoria Park area. But it was a big project and a big thing that the city of Calgary was pushing, and it was a lot of money, obviously. $1.5 billion doesn't come cheap, but it's one that the Calgary Flames or the city of Calgary can definitely afford to have. And of course, that big project, or at least one of the 4 big things there, is a new arena for the Calgary Flames, and that was likely the biggest thing, or at least the biggest priority, because obviously the Calgary Flames need a new arena right now. Now, when it came to that meeting and the voting on that project, it was actually voted 11-4 approved, which means that that project, that super project that would bring the Calgary Flames a new arena, was approved. And that is big, big news. One, that was so much money, $1.5 billion. That's not going to come cheap for Calgary or the people of Calgary when it comes to tax dollars. But when it comes to the Calgary Flames, that is a huge, huge deal. There was the proposed deal that would have them get a $600 million deal, or $600 million arena for the Calgary Flames in Victoria Park. But this new deal, I think, puts them in a different spot, not too far away, but it brings the Calgary Flames a new arena, which of course is the biggest news by far. Now, a big thing to note is that this arena, or hockey arena, or entertainment arena, whatever it might be, it is technically not the Flames arena. It is the City of Calgary's arena, obviously, but technically, as of right now, the Calgary Flames aren't officially going to play in it, at least right now. And when it comes to negotiations, the Calgary Flames have to meet with the city councilors or the Calgary City Council to meet up and actually make an agreement on this, which will be the big thing. But I feel like with this new proposed plan, I feel like it will be good for the Calgary Flames. It will be good for the City of Calgary, technically, because they do get a new arena for the Calgary Flames to stay in. But it looks like, if I had to bet, it looks like the kind of deal that would actually be put in place. And here's hoping, because there's been a lot of proposed deals, a lot of proposed arenas that have fell through, even in the last couple of years. Now, we also got some renderings on what this Calgary Flames arena could look like, or this arena for Calgary, and this one looks very, very cool. I like how the windows are sealed across the inside. I like how it's just this huge, just wall of windows there. On the roof, it looks pretty interesting where you have the wood kind of coming up, and then on the roof, it's just kind of slanted down and flat. I like that part about it. Now, when it comes to this rendering, we don't get a huge, good idea of how big this will be, how tall this will be, but I do like the creativity of this. You see on the right side a little bit of stairs, a little bit of ladders to go to that second ledge or to go to the upper deck. You see the Calgary Flames logo on the left side, which I think is a neat touch. But overall, I like how the glass is situated. I like how it looks modern enough. And for the Calgary Flames, they want to go modern after having the Saddledome for so long. The big question with this whole arena deal, at least to me, is when this will actually be ready, because with the Saddledome, it's obviously aging, it's obviously out of date, and whenever the Calgary Flames can get a new arena, they'll definitely take it. But when it comes to this, it doesn't seem like it's going to come immediately. This might take a couple of years to get done, and of course you also have the construction on top of that. When it comes to all four of the major projects that they approved, or at least yesterday, they approved, the last one will be built in 2029, or at least that's where it's projected to be built. So when it comes to this new arena, I feel like that's going to be priority one for the City of Calgary, to get that arena done for the Calgary Flames, to have that state-of-the-art facility, kind of like Edmonton has with Rogers Place or whatever it's called, but I feel like that'll be priority number one. So when it comes to the buildings built in order, this stadium will likely come first, which means probably 2021 at the earliest. But again, even if it might not be ready in the next couple of years, it is still huge news that both the City of Calgary and the Calgary Flames are starting to get some more communication, that a potential arena for the Calgary Flames is starting to get built. And obviously when it comes to both sides, they've both been in the wrong times before with potential arena deals and all the crazy stuff that goes on with taxpayers, with everything that goes on. It's a very complicated process, but it's seeming like right now the morale of the whole situation is a lot better. The urgency is a lot more, especially with the Calgary Flames still playing in the Saddledome up to this day. So it is going to be pretty pressurized in the next couple of weeks, what ends up happening, what we learn from this. But right now, I would say the Calgary Flames will be getting a new arena, and likely pretty soon. Now, it does depend on your definition of soon, but if the Calgary Flames were to play in this arena by the 2021-2022 season, I think that would be a huge success for the construction time, for the agreement time, and everything that goes into complicated processes like this. But when it comes to that stadium, it looks amazing, it looks state-of-the-art, and hopefully the Calgary Flames are playing in something like this rather than the Saddledome in 2 or 3 years. But of course, with this video, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. So let me know, what do you think about this potentially new Calgary Flames arena? What do you think about the renderings and how it looks like? What do you think about all the processes when it comes to the City of Council, when it comes to the money involved? Let me know all your thoughts down below. But if you guys want some more Grav videos just like this one, you can click on this card right here to watch my video about the Tampa Bay Lightning, and if they're the best team of all time. But that is going for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below your thoughts on this potentially new Calgary Flames arena, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.